The history of Judaism. A man named Abram was born in 2000 BCE in the city of Ur. God made a covenant with Abram, promising to make him the father of a great nation. God told Abram to leave your country and your father's house and go to a country that I will show you. So around 1950 BCE, Abram moved his family west to the land of Canaan. When he was 99 years old, the Torah says God spoke to Abram again and promised to protect and favor Abram's descendants. In return, Abram promised God that he and his people would devote themselves to God. Abram's name was changed to Abraham to mark the covenant between him and God. Canaan became known as the Promised Land, and the Jews believed they would set an example for how God wanted people to live. Today, Abraham is credited with introducing the idea of monotheism to the Jewish people and is known as the father of the Hebrews. After living in Canaan for around 200 years, the Hebrews left the Promised Land for Egypt to escape famine. While in Egypt, a number of Abraham's descendants became enslaved there. Around 1200 BCE, God told a Hebrew named Moses, "I will send you to the Pharaoh, and you shall free my people." So Moses went and told the Pharaoh of Egypt to let the Hebrews go free. After Pharaoh refused to free the Hebrews, God sent 10 plagues. One plague on Egypt was the plague of locusts, which devoured all the crops. Another plague turned the Nile River to blood. The final plague was the angel of death, which killed the firstborn son of every Egyptian family. The Pharaoh's son was also killed, so he allowed Moses to lead the Hebrews out of Egypt. Pharaoh eventually changed his mind and went after the Hebrews. He and his army met them at the Red Sea. But with God's help, Moses parted the Red Sea and led his people to safety. The escape from Egypt is known as the Exodus. Once out of Egypt, the Hebrews wandered for 40 years. During that time, Moses went up to Mount Sinai to pray. There he received the 10 Commandments from God and engraved them on 2 stone tablets. The first commandment stated, "You shall have no other God before me." Another commandment told the Hebrews to reserve 1 day a week for rest and worship called the Sabbath. Others said to honor your parents and forbade stealing, lying, and murdering. Today, Moses is known best for his role in leading the Hebrews out of slavery and for uniting them as one people under the laws of a single God. After their wanderings in the desert, the Hebrews once again settled in Canaan. Around 1000 BCE, the Hebrews were at war with the Philistines, who were a rival tribe. The Philistines' fiercest warrior, Goliath, mocked the Hebrew God, so a young man named David stepped forward to defeat him. Using just a slingshot as his only weapon, David felled Goliath with a single stone. According to the Torah, David's courage and faith were rewarded when God made him king. King David defeated the rest of the Philistines and other enemies of the Hebrews. He also united the 2 Hebrew lands of Israel and Judah into one kingdom known as Israel. In the kingdom of Israel, King David made the city of Jerusalem his capital and center of political and religious life. He brought the Ark of the Covenant there, which made Jerusalem a holy city, since the chest held the 10 Commandments. After David's death, his son Solomon became king of Israel. Solomon built a temple in Jerusalem to house the Ark of the Covenant and to be the center of Jewish worship. But Solomon angered his people by forcing them to pay heavy taxes and work on its construction. So after his death, the northern tribes of Israel broke away and became a separate kingdom. David and Solomon's descendants ruled the southern kingdom of Judah. Today, Kings David and Solomon are known for establishing the holy city of Jerusalem and for building its first great temple. Through the years, many Jewish people have stayed near their homeland in Southwest Asia, while others have scattered to different regions around the world. Wherever they have settled, Jews continue to practice their faith by obeying their laws and worshiping their God. To uphold their oldest traditions, Jewish people around the world recognize their shared heritage with celebrations such as Passover, Hanukkah, and Rosh Hashanah. Today, Jews are united by their devotion to the laws of Judaism, their belief in equality, and their faith in a single God.